me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second.
I love it.
It's the joy of growing.
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
Cooking.
It's a bit of all right.
And eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. Most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking. I think I've almost spent as much time in the garden as I do in my kitchen. But that's a good thing, because I just love cooking all the produce that I've grown.
Whether it's from a windowsill brimming with herbs or a vegetable patch bursting at the seams, I've 4 recipes that will put homegrown produce to good use. The perfect Sicilian dish that will make the most of any green-fingered efforts. A scrumptious casserole that's a symphony of herbs. And a treat that may surprise, my delicious sunshine cake, packed with veg from the garden. But I want to begin with something light and wonderfully fresh, a vegetable noodle soup bowl.
If you have an allotment or you love to grow vegetables at home, it's nice to cook them in different ways.
And a soup is one of my favourite ways because it's so simple. Just bring 2 litres of vegetable stock to the boil. Shop-bought is fine.
What I really love about this soup bowl is every single thing is in one pot, minimum washing up.
It's such a quick dish to make. Throw in a tablespoon of light muscovado sugar, a tablespoon of dark soy sauce, and 6 sliced spring onions.
About 5 centimetres of ginger. That's quite a lot of ginger. You can add a little bit less if you like, but I love ginger, especially when it's fresh. Then I've got some small red chilli, and look, I really have chopped that very, very finely.
Fresh chilies are fun to grow, even on a windowsill.
I'm being quite careful to see that I don't go anywhere near my eyes or my mouth, because that won't half sting.
Then a tablespoon of sweet chilli and a teaspoon and a half of fragrant 5-spice.
It's mainly star anise and cinnamon, so it's not really potent and hot. It's just full of flavour. Now that's been gently simmering away. That has softened the spring onion, and all the flavours will have blended together.
Now for the finishing touches. 150 grams of shiitake mushrooms and 50 grams of egg noodles.
In go the mushrooms next, like that, and then the noodles without breaking them up. Pop them in there.
The greens are next, starting with pak choi, straight from the garden.
Quick to germinate and quick to grow. Great to have outside in the veg garden or allotment. What's so nice, it gives a bit of bite to the soup. It's the one thing that'll still be a little bit crisp.
To top it all off, a small bunch of fresh coriander.
Oh, it's a lovely smell coming up here. It's funny about coriander because I can remember really loathing coriander, and it grows on you. I love it now. In goes the pak choi.
Finally, the citrus kick from half a lime.
Gosh, it's good, but it needs a little salt and some ground black pepper. Quick stir. Now I'm going to serve it in the bowl. There we go. Bet you wonder what I'm fishing about here. I'm just making quite sure I don't get 3 pieces of chilli. I wouldn't be able to talk to you. It's a lovely surprise. an excellent soup to make from all those things you grow.
Growing food is so rewarding and absolutely anyone can do it. But don't just take my word for it. I think the best kept secret about growing is you don't need masses of space to do it in. I've taken a day trip to Staffordshire to meet passionate gardener Tyra Nisa. She may have a beautiful garden now, but Tyra spent nearly 2 decades growing things in almost no space at all.
I haven't had a garden in 19 years, but I've always wanted to grow my own food.
The only outdoor space Tyra had was her 4th floor balcony, but she made it work.
You can easily grow things on a kitchen windowsill. You know, you can easily grow your herbs or your spices. And I think the first thing that I really grew was potatoes in a pot, which was actually a fish tank somebody was throwing away. Once I harvested them, I had 21 spuds from 1 potato. So even if you have only got 1 potato at home, you can still grow a whole batch more.
A fish tank to grow your spuds? What a jolly good idea. I love anyone who knows how to reuse things.
I like to repurpose a lot of things purely because I don't like waste. I've used trifle bowls, use them as propagators on top of my plant pots to help things grow. I use pop bottles. I make my own fertilizer at home using comfrey leaves, which is what people usually just consider as weeds and rip them out. It's extremely nutritious.
Since finally getting her own garden 3 years ago,
Go on, grab your shovel, good boy.
Tyra has continued to build on what she learned on that balcony.
It was just playtime, grow what you want, do what you want, and it was just the most exciting thing ever.
And it's wonderful to see her sons getting involved.
I think for me, knowing where my food comes from is very important. It's, you know, garden to kitchen to plate, and it's just so simple.
I'm looking forward to meeting Tyra and exchanging some gardening tips.
I'm really excited to meet Mary. I'm going to be like fangirling after her.
You started in such a small way, in window boxes, on the balcony, and here it has all come to fruition.
Almost, yes. We've got squash, onions, potatoes, turnips, kohlrabi.
This is amazing. Everything looks bright green, growing well.
Thank
You've
you.
got tomatoes and spinach and all sorts. You've got vegetables and flowers all together. It's great.
I've tried to go for a cottage garden feel because when I was researching about how to grow, they always say that it's best to grow the flowers and the veggies together to help the pollinators.
Are you self-sufficient in veggies?
I would say a bit of yes and a bit of no. There are many things that we don't actually need to buy anymore because we're able to grow them ourselves now. And we do also make our own compost. So we use kitchen scraps, we use chicken manure, weeds, things like that. They all go into a compost bin.
You do make do and mend. If you don't
do.
go and buy the posh thing, you invent it yourself and turn it and put the lid on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people feel that maybe they can't do certain things. They have to buy expensive equipment and things like that. And it's really not the case. You can always work with what you've got.
You should be immensely proud. There's plenty of space here for even more planting.
Yes, thank you.
A beautiful day in Tyra's glorious garden was just the inspiration I needed for my next mouth-watering recipe. Aubergine caponata.
Caponata is a Sicilian dish and the main ingredient are aubergines, and I've got 2 lovely fat ones here.
Traditionally made with green olives, but I'm using black olives as they're my favourite.
I've taken the aubergine and I've cut it into cubes.
Add a healthy slug of olive oil to a large pan and don't hold back because the aubergine will absorb it very quickly. Once the oil is sizzling, throw them in. Keep an eye on them until the aubergines soften and turn a delicious golden brown.
And there it is, ready. I'm going to tip it out now. Total clean pan, doesn't need a wipe round. I'm just going to put a little more oil in the pan and then add the other vegetables.
The joy of this recipe is any leftover vegetables will work. I have 2 large onions.
Then some red pepper.
Celery works brilliantly in the mix. It can be grown at home, in a sunny spot, mind you.
And you want to turn this in the oil for about 3 or 4 minutes. As long as you're standing by it and you're turning it, you can have it on a very high heat.
3 cloves of crushed garlic. Add less if you prefer, but I want it to have punch throughout. Then 100 grams of those delicious olives.
Black pitted olives, the ones that are with olive oil, not brine.
2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar.
Passata, sometimes in a carton, sometimes in a jar, and it goes. Now we've added a little vinegar to the mixture, as you would in caponata, and you have a sort of sweet and sour, and that's why you add a little bit of sugar. Just a heaped teaspoon.
Pop on the lid and let it simmer until the veg are beautifully tender.
That's had 30 minutes. That looks exciting, doesn't it? And gosh, it'll be full of flavour. I think I'd quite like it, just in one dish on a Sunday night with a fried egg on top. I don't think that's very Sicilian, but it's just what I would like. We're all used to ratatouille, but I think this beats it every time.
Fresh herbs can truly elevate any recipe that calls for them. And I love to grow my own. Here's a few ideas to make the most of them.
If you follow this tip, you won't waste chives ever again.
Enjoy fresh chives all the year round by tying a bunch at both ends, wrapping in foil, and freezing them. Just bring them out whenever needed.
Take a pair of scissors and snip off what you want.
Pop what's left back in the freezer for another occasion. A clever way to keep bought herbs fresh is to treat them like you would a bunch of flowers.
Put them in a small jug or pot in the fridge, and if it's more than 2 or 3 days, slip a bag over the top.
This protects the herbs while still allowing them to breathe.
The one herb not to put in the fridge is basil, because it likes warmth and it's Mediterranean.
Finally, a rather delicious way of preserving fresh herbs.
Have softened butter, add chopped herbs and garlic, mix them together, shape into a cylinder, wrap and freeze.
Remove from the freezer whenever needed.
Cut off a slice when you want it, perhaps to put on a jacket potato, on steak.
Or just spread on a crusty baguette. Delicious.
I'm on my way to meet Terry Walton, the Allotment legend, and I, for one, can't wait.
Terry has worked this allotment in the Rhondda Valley for almost all his life and is a much-loved gardening expert.
I distinctly remember 4-year-old, and my father had a plot of ground alongside his shed, and he turned that over and he gave me a packet of radish seed, and he said he was son, plant those, and that got me hooked. Absolutely love it. It's a great place to be. You're with nature, you're out in the fresh air, and it's my total stress counsellor. You don't need to go to the gym. You've got everything you need, and you take home a basket full of fresh fruit and veg. What more can you want out of life?
Terry is certainly speaking my language, and I'm just itching to learn more.
What a perfect day,
Oh, it's
isn't it?
beautiful, isn't it? And the valley looks superb now, doesn't it?
This area was once a mining town, and these glorious Welsh hills were jet black from the deposits. But nature has restored them to a splendour that is simply stunning.
how long have you been coming to this allotment?
Been coming to this allotment 71 years. I took my first allotment at 11, right in the far corner on the mountain there. Furthest from the gate because you were the youngest. So then you moved along as age, and I'm now on plot number 2. And I have no ambition to go on plot 1.
No, I can understand that. That's the way out.
There are a staggering 42 plots, all growing an abundance of fresh produce.
Would you prefer to be on an allotment than have your own private garden?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coming up here, you can come up, you can find peace and solitude, you can be on your own on the plot, but it's a great sharing community. You never go short of anything. And if the real world was like an allotment community, there wouldn't be a problem in the world.
And are you self-sufficient from you're growing on the allotment?
Yes, with the freezer, I'm storing with things like potatoes and onions. We never buy veg. The other thing you have to teach your palate is to eat what's in season.
It's so exciting to wait for the strawberries and wait for the first new potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can never understood the philosophy of eating strawberries in the winter. A strawberry to me needs to be picked at about midday when it's warm, just turned red, and exquisite.
So this is your allotment. Number 2 in the line, neat rows, absolutely lovely.
This is my 10 perch of paradise. It's like 325 square yards of bliss, and it's all mine. Got a good varied diet. In front of you there's a couple of bits of pak choy, 2 courgettes, 1 marrow, rhubarb. Then you got the runner beans, French beans, sweet peas, and down the bottom, carrots, beetroot, parsnips. If it's in the vegetable catalogue, I grow it.
I'm busy trying to think of something that you haven't got, and I'm failed.
Terry's variety is simply outstanding. This is like a playground for a garden lover like me. Here's another vibrant recipe full of the things we grow at home. My luxurious chicken and herb casserole.
I really enjoy growing my own herbs, and herbs that I've chosen go particularly well with chicken.
Start by frying 250 grams of dry cured bacon. Straight in, no need for oil.
So keep turning that until some of the fat has come out. The smell is just, oh, it's wonderful. It makes me think it's breakfast time, but it's not.
Then in with 2 large onions, roughly chopped. Pop on the lid to draw out the moisture.
Now let me see how this is doing. All the fat has disappeared and it's been used to fry the onion.
When that's done, use the same pan to brown off 8 skinless chicken thighs.
A great favourite of mine. It gets really tender with the cooking. If you overcook a breast, it becomes tougher and tougher.
When both sides are beautifully golden, remove from the pan and set aside. Time to get started on the sauce. Add a little more oil before sprinkling in 30 grams of plain flour.
Work it away, scratching up the sediment. Now I've got some stock here, and I'm going to add a little to begin with. It's easier if it's hot, and it will gradually thicken. Now this is far too thick at the moment, but I'm going to add some wine. About 150 ml, give or take. That's exactly 150 ml.
Simply work the wine into the mix and bring it all to the boil.
So that's bubbling up, it's lovely and thick. So in goes all the chicken, the onion and the bacon. Now you wouldn't expect to have a casserole as thick as that, but just you wait.
What makes this dish come alive are all the beautiful aromatic herbs.
So we've got the sage here, just put that in. Then I've got some thyme.
2 bay leaves and a few parsley stalks.
I'm going to put the lid on.
Pop onto the middle shelf of a preheated oven at 140 fan and cook for about 30 minutes.
Gosh, that herby smell really knocks you back. Absolutely lovely.
To complement those flavours, there's nothing better than some earthy chestnut mushrooms.
You don't put them in any earlier because they would be overcooked.
Gently work in some unctuous, full-fat creme fraiche.
Now remember I said to you that the sauce was very thick to begin with. The creme fraiche and the juices of the onion and the chicken have run the sauce down to a nice light consistency.
It will need another 15 or 20 minutes in the oven.
Now we've got this special flavour to go on top, sage.
I'm going to fry the leaves in butter until they're beautifully crisp.
So here it is. Now just listen carefully. Snap.
At last, the casserole is done.
That looks a bit of all right. It looks beautifully rich, doesn't it?
Just fish out the herbs and sprinkle with some chopped parsley and the fried sage leaves for a majestic finish.
The first thing that hits you is a wonderful aroma of herbs. It is a joyous casserole.
My rather special chicken and herb casserole, a dish that will work perfectly with a side of potatoes, never better than when straight from the soil. And Terry's crop looks the business.
Are you happy there, Mary? Is that enough?
Yes, of course I am, and I'll take over from here.
Okay, that's great.
I've just boiled them with a handful of mint leaves, and they're still deliciously warm. This is Terry's garlic patch, and he's given me one to use in my dish.
Take off the root, like that. As I expected, the cloves haven't yet formed, and so it'll be a milder garlic flavour. In fact, that's just what I want. So I'm going to just cut across in a crisscross pattern here.
The garlic goes in along with a rather generous amount of butter.
And then in go the potatoes. I'm not wanting to brown them, I just want to coat them with butter. Add a little bit of pepper and salt. The smell of garlic is just lovely. The potatoes are just done.
Terry's wife, Anthea, has come to join us.
Got the message.
Lucky for me, she's armed with some extra bits.
Hello, Mary.
I'm treating these potatoes with
It's
kids' love.
absolutely delicious.
Good,
I need, you think, some chutney. I got a gooseberry chutney,
right?
and I got you some Welsh ham.
That couldn't be better.
This is shaping up to be a delicious lunch.
Gooseberry chutney, local ham. Let's get going.
Excellent.
That
Delicious.
chutney would win a prize in the village show. Now to the potatoes. They've just got a tinge of brown to them. They're beautifully firm. It is absolutely wonderful. A meal in itself.
I've never tasted produce so good and so fresh, cooked on the spot.
Thank you for a very, very special day.
Thank you, Mary.
Vegetables fresh from the ground really do have an extraordinary flavour. But they don't only have to be for savoury dishes. That's why my final recipe might be a bit of a surprise.
I've called this cake Sunshine Cake, and it really does remind you of summer and sun.
Using vegetables in a cake brings a wonderful moistness to it that can't be matched.
So I'm using courgettes, and I always have a glut of courgettes and don't quite know what to do with them. And carrot, because I've always plenty of those. And you know that banana that always gets left in the fruit bowl? It's perfect for this cake. So the dry ingredients first.
225 grams of self-raising flour.
1 teaspoonful of baking powder.
Now 175 grams of caster sugar.
And now to the wet ingredients.
First the eggs into another large mixing bowl.
So that's the 4 eggs. I always crush those shells down and put them in the compost heap. It makes better compost.
Whisk the eggs just so they run cleanly through the fork.
Sunflower oil, and it goes in. or any flavourless oil.
Oil is important for this kind of cake, so use 225 ml. Then the veg, 100 grams each of the coarsely grated courgette and carrot.
And this is when you can use a banana that's really past its best.
Just make sure it's mashed down well.
You can use all sorts of vegetables in cakes, parsnip, beetroot, pumpkin, but the result is always beautifully moist.
Give it a mix before adding it to the bowl of dry ingredients. Then a good whisk on a slow speed.
Do you know, that looks like a ray of sunshine right now. All you want to do as soon as it's absolutely smooth, stop.
Divide into two 20-centimetre greased and lined cake tins, just as you would for a Victoria sandwich.
So I've set the oven to 160. I'm going to put them on the same shelf. Now they're going to take about 25 minutes. You'll know when it's done, it'll be level, it'll be a gorgeous golden colour, and when you touch the top, it springs back.
While the cakes bake, it's time to whip up the perfect indulgent icing.
I've got butter first of all, and that wants to be soft but not oily.
100 grams into the bowl, then the same amount of full-fat cream cheese.
What happens if you have low-fat cream cheese? Once you've mixed it all together, it'll run straight off the cake.
225 grams of icing sugar. Finally, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and give it a good mix. Once the sponges have cooked and are cool, I'm ready to decorate.
Half the icing in the middle, slightly more on top. Spread that over right to the edges. Right, now put the other half on top.
For a crunchy topping, some dried banana chips will do nicely.
So there you are. That's my sunshine cake. It's rich, it's creamy, it really is delicious. And who would think that it's a vegetable cake?
Growing and eating your own vegetables, fruit or herbs really is such a delight.
Exquisite.
It doesn't need a vast amount of space.
Much as you can. Good boy.
Only a love of bringing things to life and then to the table. Enjoy. Next time,
It's good. Tastes a bit of liquid bonfire.
I'm looking for new flavours
Oh, it's so good. And it's totally different from anything I've ever tasted.
and experimenting with the classics.
Doesn't it look fun? Looking good. For me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second. I love it.
It's the joy of growing,
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
cooking,
It's a bit of all right.
and eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. It's most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking. One of my greatest pleasures when it comes to food is that there are always new ideas to discover.
So happily, I'm never too old to learn. I want to share 4 delicious recipes that are new to my repertoire, though they may be familiar to some of you. A Nordic seeded loaf that I absolutely adore. A deliciously modern twist to a much-loved classic. And a mouth-watering tart that shows how simple it is to add new life to old favourites. But first, a dish made with a wonderful flavour I've just discovered.
There are always new ingredients to try, and one of the ones that I've been exploring is white miso paste. It's fermented soya bean, and the flavour is sort of aromatic and salty.
It will be perfect to marinate these gorgeous tiger prawns in. Simply mix together a tablespoon each of dark soy sauce, runny honey, and sesame oil. Throw in 2 cloves of crushed garlic and 1 finely chopped red chilli.
And it's sort of a runny paste at this stage. It smells really strong of garlic. Lovely.
1 chopped lemongrass will give a gentle aromatic flavour to the mix. Then simply add some whole and shelled tiger prawns.
Then it's a matter of just mixing those together and leaving them in the marinade for about an hour. Off to the fridge.
Once that delicious marinade has soaked in, the prawns will take moments to cook.
That's been marinating for half an hour.
Just chop some coriander to garnish.
When I come back from perhaps a lovely restaurant meal and I've had something different, I'll come home and now I'm terribly modern. I get my phone out and look on my phone about the ingredient. I remember that was exactly with miso. I find it very versatile and really adds a little extra. But I never use an ingredient that you can't get in supermarkets all over the country.
Add a splash of oil to a hot pan and pour in the prawns and the marinade.
All at once, and they will sizzle, and I'll step back. And keep stirring. Oh, the smell is wonderful. It's as easy as that. Now that was a very hot heat to start with. Keep stirring. And that looks ready right now, so it only takes a few moments.
Finish with the lemon juice and coriander, and it's ready to serve.
I think that looks terrific. Very exciting, and I really can't wait to taste. I might get through it. It's perfect.
One style of cooking that's grown massively over the years is plant-based food. When I was young, most people had never heard of vegetarian, let alone vegan. But times are changing fast, and I'm eager to explore.
Plant-based dishes are now everywhere, and I'm always looking for inspiration, and I think I'm about to get some.
Introducing me to the culinary delights of vegan food are Norwich-based father and son team Mike and Joe. They've turned their passion into a successful business, setting up One Planet Pizza in 2016.
When you get rid of the meat or get rid of the dairy, then you've got to be a little bit more adventurous, especially if you want to have a healthy diet. So I'm really looking forward to introducing her to some new foods that she may not have come across before.
Right, I think we're ready to go, lad.
Yep, let's do this. Let's hope Mary likes it.
Best of luck.
Well, this is a first for me, and I'm ready to be impressed.
So what are you going to cook for me?
Well, what we're going to do first of all is a special scrambled tofu which is a direct replacement in for your traditional scrambled egg.
This is a really good replacement. It tastes just like it, but suitable for vegans.
I'll be very critical because it's one of my favourites.
Oh,
So
okay.
do
We'll
get
put it
going.
to the test.
Okay, so to start off with, we're going to put in a knob of butter.
But butter isn't vegan.
Yeah, vegan butters have actually come a long way in the last couple of years by combining sunflower and coconut. They've made these incredible butters that taste and look just like dairy butter.
It's almost there.
We'll take that.
Mike adds 2 cloves of crushed garlic and half an onion to the melted vegan butter. To replace the egg, Mike is using 2 types of tofu, silken and firm. Originating in China, tofu has been around for thousands of years, and it's now hugely popular in the West. To give it that eggy colour, in goes some turmeric.
But the idea of putting the 2 different sorts of tofu is that you get the different textures that you get in a scrambled egg.
There's one ingredient that will give the tofu that eggy dimension.
This is called a black salt. It's this lovely pink flavour.
Yes.
So this is very similar to Himalayan pink salt, but it comes from a lava rock in northern India. And because it's a lava rock, it's very high in sulphur, lower in sodium.
It smells of, I can remember wartime dried egg.
Wow.
And for me, it smells like wartime dried egg.
That's a great memory, isn't it? Okay, I think we're ready to serve it up. Mary, are you hungry?
I'm starving. I'm very interested to have it. It does have the texture of a well-cooked, slightly firmer scrambled egg. Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second one.
That's good.
That's a good
That's
sign.
good.
We're pleased with that.
That's not the only thing on the menu today. Joe is busy rustling up a homemade barbecue sauce for his vegan version of pulled pork.
So have you heard of liquid smoke as an ingredient before?
Not yet. I'm waiting.
So liquid smoke is actually a natural byproduct you get when you burn wood.
Tastes a bit of liquid bonfire.
And again, 1 teaspoon of this secret ingredient.
Replacing the pork are some baby jackfruit that come ready peeled in a jar.
So jackfruit comes from Southeast Asia, and it's a sort of staple ingredient in many of their dishes. And actually, it's the single largest fruit in the whole world, and they can weigh up to 55 kg.
I like it a lot. It's good. It's a good base
Yeah,
to
create the
add
dish.
other things to, and it's got a nice texture.
What's brilliant about this recipe is it doesn't take hours of cooking. The jackfruit needs only a few minutes in the pan with the smoky marinade. Then it's pulled and ready to serve.
I think this looks really tempting, very colourful. You should see your faces, full of anticipation. I have to say, it is really, really delicious.
What a wonderful duo Joe and Mike are. I can't say I'm a fully blown vegan yet, but there are definitely some things I'll be adding to my larder. My next recipe isn't quite vegan, but it's on the way. Delicious pickles to complement this rich Nordic seeded loaf. I can't get enough of it.
I've got 1 kilo of mixed vegetables. I've prepared them in sort of small sprigs or slices.
To transform this bounty of veg, start by covering it in salt and leave it for around 3 hours to draw out their moisture. Drain off any liquid that's left in the bottom of the bowl and rinse under cold water.
Now to my pickling liquid, 450 ml of white wine vinegar, then 300 grams of caster sugar, and a tablespoonful of dried dill,
And the same of black peppercorns and mustard seeds, then onto the heat.
That's just come to the boil. I'm going to let it boil for 3 minutes. Meantime, I can fill the jars. Now that's absolutely pushed down as far as I can go. And doesn't it look fun and interesting?
Fill sterilised jars to the brim with pickling liquid until every piece of veg is submerged, and give them a good shake.
And then you'll find they'll have shrunk back a bit and it'll all be quite even.
Let them pickle for at least a month. What a great way to give new life to leftover veg. They will be perfect to serve with this excellent seeded loaf.
This is a Norwegian style loaf. I'd been buying one and I enjoyed it, so I thought I'm going to have a go at making it myself, and I'm really pleased with the result. So first of all, 4 eggs. If by any chance you've got a little bit of eggshell in there, just take the empty eggshell and just put it down there, and it comes out absolutely easily, rather than fishing around with a fork. Now, on with the job.
What's so special about this loaf is no kneading or proving, just everything goes into the bowl. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 75 grams of pumpkin seeds, the same again of sunflower seeds, and 150 grams of chopped pecan nuts.
There we go.
50 grams of sesame seeds, and the same of chopped dates, and 3 tablespoons of chia seeds, which give a wonderful texture.
These are tiny seeds, and they swell when they're cooked.
Finally, 1 teaspoon of sea salt.
This is why I like the recipe. It's absolutely packed with nuts, little fruit, and seeds. So just mix that, and it's a wet mixture. And I have a 2-pound loaf tin, and I'm going to tip that in, and then I'll just level it off. This loaf will keep in the fridge for up to a month. I'm really chuffed that this worked. Sometimes we test things time and time again. We got it right first go, and that's why I'm passing it on to you.
That goes into a 160 fan oven for about 45 to 55 minutes, until set firm and golden brown.
Now just look at that. Absolutely full of goodness.
I love to eat this just as it is, well buttered.
I can feel the crunch and hear the crunch, and I just feel it's full of goodness and very enjoyable to eat.
If, like me, you want to make the most of any ingredients, new or old, then I have a few tips to help. Exploring new foods goes hand in hand with better ways to store them. I don't want to use single-use plastic anymore, and beeswax paper is a great alternative.
Mould it round. It clings to the bowl, keeps the air out.
It works just as well, and you can simply clean with warm soapy water and reuse time and time again.
Everyone has their special way of preparing avocados. This is mine.
The best way not to waste any avocado is to cut it in half, twist a knife against the stone to get it out, then just use a spoon.
Press it against the skin to the outside and swirl it round. And then wiggle it forward, gently. Who needs a gadget?
Be resourceful and don't waste, like this trick with ginger.
I've got some frozen ginger here, and you can use it straight from the freezer and grate it. Doesn't matter a bit if the peel gets in there too.
It's much easier to grate and will stop the ginger drying out. We are so lucky in this country to have dozens of cuisines to dip into, though a few are new to me.
They say that there's no better introduction to a culture than through its food, and I'm looking forward to a taste of Nigeria, and I'm not going on a plane.
In the heart of Brixton's vibrant food market is a new kitchen that's serving modern Nigerian cooking to rave reviews. A passionate home cook, Adejoki's dream of opening a restaurant recently became a reality. after winning a local cooking competition.
So I could happily not get paid and cook for people. Just so that, you know, maybe there's a part of me that just wants to be needed.
It sounds like the perfect place to sample my very first taste of Nigerian cooking.
Hi, Miss Mary.
Oh, it looks so beautiful. I've never had any Nigerian food. That is so tempting.
So this one is the inyoka. So it's sweet corn that has been blended with onions and sweet spices and just steamed. And this one, it's called ekuru. So it's just black-eyed beans with wild watermelon seeds. So it's different from the normal watermelon. So it's wild, and you don't eat the fruits, you only eat the seeds. So on top of it is a pumpkin pesto. So it's not too spicy.
How would you describe Nigerian cuisine?
Very, very diverse, very bold, very flavorful. And more people should be eating Nigerian food.
Right, I'm off.
Good.
I'm off. Right.
Oh,
It's of a beautiful texture. It's absolutely lovely. It's sort of got a creaminess to it, which you sometimes get with corn, don't you?
yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Thank you.
But it's totally different from anything I've ever tasted.
Oh, thank you.
And now onto the...
And now onto the beans, the ekuru.
It doesn't look like black-eyed beans that I know. It's beautifully smooth, and there's a hint of pepper there. But I must taste the pesto too, and there's some spice coming and knocking me back, but I love it.
I try to avoid it as much as possible.
So, chicharu, what does it mean?
Chishiru means food so good you don't talk.
Oh, we're having a jolly good chat, but it is very good.
There's a thing in our culture when you eat to savor the food and as an act of respect for the person that's cooked it.
Because you must appreciate every mouth.
Yes. So
But I'll accept it graciously because it's so good.
What a treat to meet a fellow cook who is just as passionate about sharing her food as I am. If I could make something in return for adojoki, it would be my next recipe, a rich and succulent revamp of an old favourite.
I can remember in the 60s being very excited about duck à l'orange. It was the height of fashion and I loved making it. Well, I've moved on and I've got a lovely recipe, beautifully tender duck legs, Japanese style.
To ensure the meat will fall off the bone, poach them first in 1.5 pints of chicken stock, sliced ginger, garlic and salt and pepper.
So there's a gentle simmer for 1.5 hours.
But there's no orange sauce for this duck. Instead,
I'm making an easy Japanese sauce, which is cram jam full of flavour.
just 2 teaspoons of corn flour and 6 tablespoons of my new go-to, that rich white miso.
I'm not trying to be trendy. I really love it, and I'm becoming addicted.
To balance the saltiness, add 6 tablespoons of maple syrup, then 4 of soy sauce and 3 of Japanese rice vinegar.
It's a little bit sweeter than normal vinegar, and it's jolly good to use in dressings too.
2 tablespoons of sesame oil, an equal measure of pomegranate molasses, finely grated ginger, and to cut through the rich duck, add the zest and juice of a lime.
Now I'm just going to stir that all together. Wow, the flavours that are there. Something very, very special.
Then onto the heat until it's lovely and thick.
That's boiled like a treat. That's absolutely beautifully smooth. Just show you how that coats a spoon, which it should do. It's absolutely perfect.
Now all that's needed is to glaze the cooked duck legs and pop them into a 200 fan oven for about 20 minutes until golden.
The duck has had its time. Wow. Look at that. A glorious brown. That's just what I want. And shiny too. Now I've got the glaze in the pan here, and I'm going to run it down with a little of that stock that we cooked the legs in, just so it's a pouring consistency. That's it. I know that I have happy memories of duck à l'orange, but this is new with the pomegranate and the miso, and I think it's even better. You think I would know how to make most sweet things, but even for me, there's more to discover, and I cannot wait.
I'm on my way to meet brother and sister team Howard and Vivian. They left their high-flying jobs in finance to pursue their passion for just one dish, mochi.
Our parents have been making mochi for sort of 30 years. They used to run an Asian bakery, and mochi was one of their most popular products. When we were growing up, it was filled with red bean paste, which is how it's traditionally eaten in Japan. And when we first discovered mochi ice cream, our minds were blown.
Keen to share this new discovery with the world, they set up Little Moons 11 years ago and haven't looked back.
Okay, Mary, this is our moment of truth.
They look splendid.
The outside is actually a soft dough covering the different flavoured ice creams.
The purple one is our passion fruit and mango flavour, and the green one is our green tea, and this one is our coconut flavour.
The purpley one looks very much like a passion fruit.
Thank you. Yeah, do you want to try it?
I do, yes. It's quite interesting because the middle is very soft and creamy ice cream, and the outside you imagine it's going to be crisp, but it's not. It's sort of chewy.
Thank you.
Howard and Vivian's factory now produces around 400,000 mochis a day.
Mochi is just the outer layer of dough, and it's made from sticky rice flour, water and sugar that's been steamed, and that's when you steam it, it gets this really chewy consistency that it's famous for.
We've been making this since we were 15, and so we've learned how to make it from our parents.
The alchemy of mochi lies in getting an extremely hot dough to wrap around the frozen ice cream, a secret process that's guarded closely.
It's a real technical challenge because this is actually burn your hand hot right now, and yeah, this sort of has to go around the ice cream.
So you have to feel it and sort of like smell it and know that it's the right texture and it's cooked. It's the only way.
And what's it like working with your brother?
I've actually really enjoyed it. I mean, we have had our moments, but we have very different personalities, and so we've got complementing skill sets.
Well, I can assure you it'd be one recipe that I'm not going to try to make at home.
I love how Howard and Vivian have modernised a traditional family recipe. My delicious and luxurious passion fruit tart with orange pastry is also a new version of a tart I've made for yonks.
The inspiration was the classic tarte au citron. Be brave and add something different to your pastry. This one's orange. It really is a foolproof pastry, and it works every time.
Just add 175 grams of plain flour with 100 grams of butter and 30 grams of icing sugar.
Then the all-important orange. That's the finely grated rind of one large orange. And I'm just going to process that until it comes together like fine breadcrumbs.
All that's needed now is one beaten egg and the mixture will come together. I always knead by hand at this stage to avoid overworking the dough.
A little bit of flour on the board. Never used a flour shaker. We hadn't one at home when I was young, and my fingers are perfectly good. And then just gather it all together. And you can see it is very good pastry. It's holding together.
This pastry is a joy to roll out. It's pliable, it doesn't crack, making it so easy to line the tin with. Then simply prick the base and pop it into the fridge to firm up. It needs about 20 minutes in the oven baked blind, in the usual way until the pastry is pale golden all over.
Now onto the filling. I've got passion fruit here, 8 passion fruit, and I'm going to sieve out the seeds. You can put the seeds in if you like, but I always take them out. And just press all that delicious juice through. It's coming through nicely, bright orange. But you know, when I was growing up, there wasn't such a thing as a passion fruit. Nobody knew what it was. I suppose it's only in the last 15 years, as everybody has travelled, people who've come from New Zealand and Australia are absolutely passionate about passion fruit.
To that, add 4 eggs, the juice of 1 orange, 150 ml of double cream, and 75 grams of caster sugar. Give it a gentle whisk.
Not going to stop it on my shirt.
The passion fruit and orange custard smells wonderful. What makes this recipe so straightforward is that it doesn't need to be thickened on the hob. It can be poured straight into the cool pastry case and cooked in the oven at 140 fan.
I'm going to cook it until it's just set. In fact, when I push it and it's got a little sort of wobble, that's the time to take it out. Looking good. Oopsie. There you are, a little wobble.
Perfect. Allow it to cool and firm up, then it's ready to serve. Finish with a light dusting of icing sugar.
That's just how it should be. It looks so rich and creamy. That really melts in the mouth, and the passion fruit and orange is coming through well.
There you have it. 4 wonderful recipes, perfect for getting creative in the kitchen. From cooking all those exciting flavours and cuisines, to bringing new life to the old ones we still love. One thing is for sure, I'll never tire of exploring new ways to cook and, of course, to eat. Next time is cooking for a crowd.
It's catering on a mass scale. Gosh, it's good. Beautifully fresh.
Recipes perfect to feed the hordes.
This is a hobby gone wrong.
This really is one of my go-to dishes. It keeps its shine. Doesn't that look lovely? For me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second. I love it!
It's the joy of growing.
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
Cooking.
It's a bit of all right.
And eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm feeling a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. It's most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking. I never need a reason to ask friends or family over. The more the merrier. I love cooking for a crowd. Whether you're feeding 6 or 12, here are 4 recipes that will stand you in good stead. An elegant marinated pork dish that will easily feed a hungry party. A mouth-watering curry that will keep the masses happy. And the crowning glory of any big celebration with a foolproof twist.
But first, a delicious savoury biscuit that will keep the hordes coming back for more.
Walnut cheese biscuits. So good with drinks, great for a crowd, lovely to have in the tin.
This all-in-one method couldn't be easier. Throw in 50 grams of self-raising flour, then 30 grams of semolina.
I often put that in shortbread too. It gives that extra crunch.
Chopped walnuts, 75 grams of butter, and 1 teaspoon of mustard powder.
There we are.
The cheesy kick comes from 50 grams of finely grated parmesan, an egg white, and seasoning.
And you just combine it until all the ingredients are smooth, rather like pastry. It's all come together very nicely.
Lightly flour the surface, then knead the mixture till the cracks disappear.
I don't want too much flour because I'm going to roll it into poppy seeds.
To make these clever biscuits, roll the dough into a perfect cylindrical shape.
That looks about right to me. It looks as though it's nothing, doesn't it? But I'm going to make very thin, beautiful biscuits. You wait and see.
This is the bit I love. Roll the cylinder in poppy seeds, making sure it's all covered. I'm not pressing down too hard because I want to keep that lovely shape.
Gives a lovely, crisp, crunchy outside to the biscuit. And it does look very, very smart. That's absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to just wrap it in parchment and chill it in the freezer for about 20 minutes.
With the dough nice and firm, cut very thin slices, meaning there'll be plenty to go round. This is the joy of the recipe. All that's left is to lay them on a lined baking tray. Pop into a 180 fan oven for about 15 minutes until they're a gorgeous golden colour.
They look great. I love it with this ring round the outside of the poppy seed, and they're just the same colour on top and underneath. Let's try. It really hits you. I can taste a hint of mustard. I love the Parmesan. It's the best cheese when you want to use just a little cheese. And I bet you they'll be the star of your drinks party.
Feeding a crowd should never be overwhelming, and I've come to a place where some remarkable people are very good at doing it.
On match day, over 50,000 fans fill these stands. And just a goal kick away, it's a team of inspirational volunteers that take on the job of feeding them.
So on a match day, we sell between 700 and 800 pies, and the queue goes out of the door of the bakery, out of the door down the road from the pie hole. We also sell 700, 800 cups of tea and coffee. It's catering on a mass scale.
But there's more to this bakery than meets the eye. Though it's been here for almost 100 years, 10 years ago it risked being demolished, until the incredible local community stepped in to save it.
We had a very difficult time in that houses were becoming vacant and boarded up. People started to look at the area as being not a very nice place to be. People moved away, the houses became empty, and then eventually they started pulling the terrace properties down.
This community rose to the challenge, and the bakery is now co-owned by them and supported by an army of volunteers.
This bakery began its life as a very small belief in what we would want to do.
It's now a thriving social enterprise with award-winning bakes to feed the masses on match day.
You now have a place where it is beginning to come back again, and this place itself is the absolute hub. It is amazing.
Home baked is like a family. The people that work here live round here. Quite a lot of them came here as volunteers. I work behind the till on a match day, and literally everybody that comes in is a regular. You know the man who wants his pie in 2 bags because he takes it into the ground and it's too greasy otherwise. You know about the man who's had a heart attack who used to have a pie and now has to have soup because he has to have something healthy. They're part of the family as much as the team.
I'm so impressed with what they've achieved and the hundreds they managed to feed.
You can't do it unless you've got a team of people who know what their job is. The people who come in to the bakery to serve on match days know exactly what their jobs are, and it's pretty slick, really.
Those massive crowds are also giving back, and I'm off to be one of them.
To keep our prices affordable in the shop, we charge more on a match day because our customers can afford and are willing to pay more on a match day. So the money we take on a match day helps subsidise the prices in the cafe on a normal day so that they're affordable for the local community.
Welcome, Mary. Now, Sally Ann, this looks a pretty good bake.
It's a marmalade cake. We find that tray bakes sell really well in the shop because they're easy for people to pick up and take away.
That's a little bit different, and gosh, it's good. On match days, that must be frantic.
It's a logistical nightmare. Match day team are all geared up. We have somebody serving, somebody doing tea and coffee. I work the till.
I can see who's in control here. I work the till.
Yeah, I'm the money woman.
You must be so proud, and your volunteers too, to have saved this cafe, and that all the profits go straight back into the community, and these houses behind me are gradually being restored, thanks to you.
Thank you. Yes, we are very proud.
I've loved it.
What an inspirational group they are. You may not be cooking for thousands, but this next spectacular recipe is ideal for a smaller crowd.
Sticky soy and ginger pork. I'm using a fillet of pork, and the marinade also serves as a bit of a sauce.
Start with a tablespoon of grated fresh ginger, 2 chopped garlic cloves, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, and lastly 2 tablespoons of sweet chilli sauce.
That's it. And just blend that together. When I was first married, I don't remember using marinades very much. A marinade is great because it really does get flavour into the meat and also makes it more tender too.
If you're cooking for a big crowd, then this recipe is easy to scale up. Now all it needs is time to soak up those gorgeous flavours.
That's been in the fridge for a couple of hours and it'll have taken in all those flavours. I did turn it from time to time. Just going to drain it from the marinade. That's just picking it up and giving it a shake. That's it.
Oh!
It'll come off quickly. Disaster over. Hope it's all out. Carefully lift it out. I'm putting it on some non-stick paper because it will caramelise and perhaps stick to the tin.
The oven is set for 200 fand and it will take about 25 to 30 minutes.
It's a bit of all right. That's a lovely colour, beautifully cooked. I'm covering the meat for 5 minutes to rest. That'll make it even more tender. Now that looks good. Have a look. It is still moist in the middle, not dry in any way. Now to finish it off, I've got a hot marinade, just the bit that was left, a little over the top there. That'll give it a nice shine all the way down. That's it. Smells wonderful.
Finish with strips of spring onion, fresh chilli and chopped coriander.
Now that's a great dish to serve to a crowd. I've got my eye on the little bit at the end, and it's hot and it's delicious. Doesn't that look good?
Cooking for a crowd can be a lot of work, so any shortcuts I can find, I use.
When cooking for a crowd, there's always an awful lot of washing up. And if by any chance you've burnt something, here's the answer.
Put a dishwasher tablet in the dirty pan and top up with boiling water.
That's it.
Then leave it overnight. Then just empty and rinse. Give it a quick wipe. And it's like magic.
How about that then?
And here's a tip for keeping large sandwich platters fresh. Mind you, it only works with dry fillings, nothing soggy. Just dampen 2 sheets of kitchen paper, put them on top of the sandwiches and tuck them in. Put foil on the top and tuck that in too.
So you can do this the day before and they will be just as good as the moment you made them. When you need to make a meal in a hurry, the last thing you want is trouble with opening a jar or a can. For years, I've battled through trying to get the lids off jars. I banged it, I've tried to heat it on the top of something, and now I've found a gadget. And the aim is to release the seal.
If cans are a struggle, just use a teaspoon.
Prise it underneath the ring and just pull it back and release it like that. And then take the spoon and put it underneath, press it at the back and just give it a pull like that. And then the last bit you can do yourself.
Cooking has been my job for years, but it is also my passion, and I'm not the only one. Across the country, there are so many people whose love of cooking has taken them in extraordinary directions. Andrew Krause is one of them.
I'm an aviation lawyer. That's my job by day. But by night, particularly on a Thursday night, I turn into a smoker. And it's a little surreal because here we are in the middle of suburban Hendon. And in amongst that, we've got a smokehouse.
Each Thursday night and into the early hours, Andrew smokes up to 200 kilograms of meat cuts. It's all for his devoted clientele who want it for the weekend.
We've never actually gone out and advertised. It's all about word of mouth. If someone loves it, they're going to tell their friend, and that's how it's grown. This is a hobby gone wrong.
One of Andrew's biggest crowd pleasers is a mixed platter with the whole range of his smoked delights.
In terms of the crowd that we're started to feed, predominantly kosher, and as you probably know, bacon's not a winner for the kosher crowd, so this is the alternative, lamb bacon.
Or laken, as Andrew calls it. It's made from the fatty breast of lamb and goes through several long processes, from curing, pickling and roasting to the final big smoke.
Feedback has been that this is better. Can you believe it?
Well, I'll be the judge of that when we meet later.
Good food is a pathway to, the soul. It's a real connection that people can really kind of get elevated about, and making people happy. I mean, that's pretty addictive. Love doing it.
Andrew is on his way to meet me with one of his platters. I can't wait to get stuck in.
No pressure, of course, feeding Mary.
Welcome, Andrew. That
Thank
looks
you.
an exciting box.
I'll just pop it down here. Bit of a reveal.
Gosh.
And it looks a feast. Smoked chicken, duck breast, 2 kinds of smoked brisket, And of course, Andrew's Lacon.
It is perfect. You obviously have a passion for display as well as smoking the meat.
The idea behind this board is that it's got something for everyone.
Well, I can say the chicken goes through like butter. Mustn't talk with my mouth full.
Packs a real punch in terms of flavour.
You're absolutely right.
Why don't we plunge in and go for the Lacon?
That must have taken a lot of research to make lamb into bacon.
Indeed.
Don't tell the pigs.
The pigs have been relegated.
It looks a bit like streaky bacon.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you think.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll have this in my fingers. Well, I wouldn't know that wasn't bacon.
Really?
Andrew, thank you for this palatial spread. So much interest there, an awful lot that's brand new to me. You've certainly cracked it.
Thank you. She was still smiling at the end of it. I think she enjoyed it, which is an absolute compliment to me.
The lamb dish I love to cook is a little different. Its gentle, evocative flavours make it an absolute crowd pleaser. Delicious lamb rogan curry.
The great thing about curries is if you make it ahead, it's better the next day or even the day after.
What I love most about cooking this dish is I get to make the curry paste from scratch. Start by crushing 10 cardamom pods to release their seeds. So worth doing to get a truly powerful flavour. Now a tablespoon each of ground coriander, cumin, paprika and garam masala. 2 teaspoons of turmeric and a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves.
Those colours look amazing, don't they?
Layering up the flavour is the best bit of cooking. The rich tomato puree is the finishing touch.
That's what makes the rogan curry different. So rich in colour.
Bring it all together with some sunflower oil.
Look at it.
Heat some more oil and brown off a kilo of lamb.
Use leg of lamb because it's beautifully lean.
I'm cooking for a crowd, so it's best to do this in smaller batches.
That's a glorious colour and a great base for my curry.
Throw 2 onions into the same pan so that they will absorb all the flavours.
And just pound that together.
I'm adding fresh garlic and chilli before that wonderful deep flavoured curry paste. Top up with 450 ml of beef or lamb stock.
Looks really rich, doesn't it?
And bring it all to the boil.
Look at that glorious colour, almost bright red, and that's what you expect from a rogan curry.
The final ingredients are a tablespoon of light muscovado sugar, 3 bay leaves and 2 cinnamon sticks.
The aroma is wonderful. And we're getting there. Finally, the meat goes back in. Just drop that into the middle.
I'm watching out for splashes this time. Season, then transfer to an oven at 130 fan for an hour and a half, or until the meat is tender. A little yoghurt stirred in before serving adds a gentle, creamy touch.
It just looks so rich and so good.
And a bright dash of green coriander to garnish.
Arrive with this dish at the table. Take the lid off. Everybody will peer in, and it just looks so tempting and tastes even better. This really is one of my go-to dishes. I love to cook it. It's got warmth, but it hasn't got intense heat. It is absolutely scrumptious. I can't wait to serve it.
Cooking for lots of people may be enjoyable at home, but when you do it as a business, the pressure is on. especially when it's for someone's special event. After being made redundant, Robin Green started baking cakes in her one-bedroom flat. It all took off with one of her first orders.
We were asked by a well-known fizzy drink company to make 500 mini cakes. So I had to make these 500 mini cakes in my one-bedroom flat with like the world's tiniest oven.
12 years on, Robin employs 9 people, making up to 40 intricate cakes a week.
To make a really tall tiered cake with a lot of sugar models on it would probably take about 40 man-hours. The most time-consuming part of cake making is making the kind of details, so the sugar models. We make sugar model people, we make sugar model characters.
The cakes start from around £120, but the bigger ones will stretch the budget.
The most someone spent on a cake is £5,000. Would either be massive, so a lot of tiers, or it would be reasonably big and covered in sugar models.
With customers from far and wide, Robin is happy to fill the most interesting of requests.
Our strangest order that we've ever had, an expensive hotel phoned up and said that one of their top clients was flying his dog in from the United Arab Emirates to give birth in London. I don't know why. And they needed a cake. We made this enormous cushion cake with a large 3D dog and all its puppies to present to the dog upon giving birth. As you do.
Like me, Robin gets great pleasure from feeding lots of people. I think she'd approve of my next, more budget-friendly recipe. Cream-filled, chocolate-dipped profiteroles, so impressive and quite simple to make at home. No piping.
If you haven't tackled choux pastry before, now's the time to do it, because I'm going to give you an easy recipe, and as long as you weigh everything out very carefully, you'll have great success.
Choux pastry is made on the hob. Add 50 grams of butter and 150 ml of water to a cold pan, or the water will evaporate too quickly.
Turn the heat on and bring that up to the boil and melt the butter. Now that's come to a full rolling boil. I'm going to add all the flour and lift it off the heat. Don't be tempted to add the flour in dribs and drabs. You want to add it all at one go and just beat until it's smooth. Now it'll look lumpy and you'll begin to worry, but you don't need to.
When the dough comes away from the side of the pan, add 2 beaten eggs bit by bit.
This takes me back to the first time that I made choux pastry. It was in Bath Technical College. I was doing my last exam for 244 City and Guilds, and I had to do Gâteau Saint-Honoré to take to a picnic. Funny thing to take to a picnic. The base, I can remember, was a shortbread circle, and I had to pipe all the way around the choux pastry. And it worked. And it looked so spectacular. I sort of, for once, felt quite confident that I was going to get through that exam, which I did.
Once all the eggs are in the choux, it should be thick and shiny. No piping with this recipe. I'm doing it by hand, making it much easier.
Now you can see the consistency. It's a really thick mixture. It's not difficult to handle at all. There they are, the 12 profiteroles. Just brush them over with a little bit of beaten egg. These are really fun to do. Who could say no to a profiterole? I couldn't.
Pop the tray into a 200 fan oven for a 10-minute blast. The secret to a perfect choux is to turn the oven down to 170 fan for a further 20 minutes. What would choux pastry be without some delicious chocolate sauce to top it off? It's a dream. Slowly heat 75 ml of double cream and 75 grams of dark chocolate, stirring from time to time.
Once you've made this, it is so versatile. You can take it off, it can go hard, you can melt it again. It is not temperamental. They are looking amazing.
I love my choux buns to be crispy, so once they're cooked, turn the oven off, slice them in half, and then pop them back in for 15 minutes to crispen up the inside.
I just want them to be perfect.
Whip the cream, then everything will be ready to build.
This is the bit I enjoy most. Putting it all together. Take the base and put a nice, generous blob of cream. Take the lid that's dried out, just drop it in there, bring it up, and just put it on top. That's it. Isn't it lovely and shiny? It's a bit sticky, but it's good fun. It's a huge temptation to lick my fingers, but I don't. And now the last one. That's it. I'm not going to make a pyramid because as you take them apart, they look mucky. I'm going to put them flat on the plate. I think they look lovely with their little shiny hats on. And the great thing about this chocolate icing is that it keeps its shine. Doesn't that look lovely? I know you can go and buy profiteroles, but it's such fun to make them at home, and gosh, they taste good too.
Whether it's feeding the devoted and saving a community, or turning your passion into a business, cooking is such a central joy to so many. And the more people we feed, the happier we are. Well, that's me anyway.
I can't wait to serve it.
Next time,
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
Food that brings friends and family together.
Mum, are you enjoying this?
I'm in heaven.
With recipes guaranteed to bring a smile on your face.
It's delicious. For me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second.
I love it.
It's the joy of growing.
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
Cooking.
It's a bit of all right.
And eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. Most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking.
Cooking is so much more than assembling of ingredients. It's how I show those around me that I care.
I'm going the extra mile to make them taste special and look special for family and friends.
Like this gorgeous family favourite with a side that I just can't resist. A delicious open tart, perfect for any outing. And the most impressive of chocolate cakes. But first, a recipe that's such a winner with any family. A magnificent roast that will have everyone cheering for more.
When you want to push the boat out, there is nothing quite like roast beef. Doesn't that look beautiful? I'm going to season it first of all with salt, rubbing that in.
Add a little black pepper, drizzle with sunflower oil, then straight into a piping hot pan.
Listen for the sizzle. And I'm certainly not cooking the beef, it's just browning it. The idea is that you're getting a crust all round the beef. That looks really good.
And don't forget the ends.
There's a fog between you and me.
Once sealed, smother the beef with 2 tablespoons of delicious Dijon mustard. To make it even tastier, lay the fillet on fresh rosemary before sliding into a 200-fan oven for about 20 minutes.
The traditional accompaniments for roast beef are mustard and horseradish. I'm blending the two together.
This sauce is just so Moorish. Start with fresh horseradish if you can.
And it grates very easily, just like you would ginger. I think that's about 2 tablespoons.
150 ml of creme fraiche and the same of mayonnaise will balance out the horseradish perfectly.
Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoonfuls of Dijon mustard, little pepper and salt, and that's it. Couldn't be easier. That really is scrummy. How about that then?
To make sure the beef is wonderfully tender, let it rest for 20 minutes.
I'm also going to take a tea towel and put that over as well. But it does mean that it just gently goes on cooking and holding itself together.
When family and friends come over for a roast, time is precious. So I've taken to cooking my veg the day before. I refresh them in cold water to keep their colour. Then I plate them up exactly how I want to serve them. Then I just cover them and pop them in the fridge. Then on the day, I simply reheat them in a 200-fan oven. I promise you it works. Now the beef has rested nicely, let's bring it all together.
The knife is going through like butter. Just look at that. Isn't it perfect? Gosh, that's just as I would like it to be.
And to top it off, that glorious reheated veg.
Did you notice the moment it came out of the oven and I revealed it, piping hot, lots of steam.
Look at this vibrant dish. It really is a no-fuss way to feed everyone.
I really love doing vegetables like this because when friends come round, I'm very organised and I can join them with a drink and the odd canapé.
One of my greatest joys is that my daughter Annabelle loves to cook just as much as I do.
This is so exciting being by the seaside again, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's lovely.
We also share a passion for foraging in the great outdoors.
When you were little, we'd always go blackberrying and mushrooming and always seeking for things.
As a treat, Annabelle has brought me to the idyllic Carmarthen Bay to meet foraging expert Craig Evans.
Well, that's Craig there, is it?
Yes, and his dog Clow. He's a real character.
Foraging's appeal has grown so much in the last few decades. This has led to local councils placing stricter restrictions on it. Luckily, Craig will show us the ropes.
This area where we are now, it's special, but the plants here are specially adapted as being salt tolerant.
Right.
So as you get further out, you get the more salt-tolerant plants, and that's where the Mars samphire lives.
Similar in taste to salty baby asparagus, I adore cooking with samphire, but I've never seen where the sea herb actually grows.
Ah, that is samphire.
Yeah,
I recognise it.
Yeah,
it's
well done.
like little trees growing in the marsh.
Let's get some. The
I
thing is
thought
to
I
do-
might sink down into the mud. Of course,
No,
it's
no,
not
wait.
like that, is it?
You will over there,
I
but
think it- Hey, do you
we'll find
mind?
you. So,
Go.
out of the way, boy. Come
Out
on.
of the way.
Right. Don't take too much from one place. Try and vary the location where you cut it from. The reason is because they're annual plants, which rely on self-seeding year on year, we need to cut a bit here, a bit there, so we'll leave some to self-seed for next year.
Mum, are you enjoying this?
Am I enjoying it? I'm in heaven. Annabelle, you know, it would be really good to just have samphire with butter with a poached egg on top.
Oh, delicious. Like you do with asparagus.
It's as good as asparagus. It's delicious.
Enjoying the great outdoors is our family tradition. But when I want to make something special for them at home, it's this scrumptious recipe for samphire and roasted salmon that I turn to. My family love it.
To give the salmon a bit of a lift, I'm having a crust on top.
Spread a generous dollop of soft butter across each fillet. Then add a good sprinkle of paprika to 25 grams of semolina.
The paprika makes it get extra golden brown.
And season.
Just mix that together. So take that and just dip it in there.
Once the fillets are nicely covered, I'm going to place them on a bed of fresh parsley stalks to infuse more flavour into the flesh. And they're ready to cook.
To go into the oven at 180, and it'll take about 15 minutes. Salmon can take big flavours, so I'm serving a preserved lemon sauce with it.
This sauce is so delicious. Whoever tastes it will lick their plate clean. Simply add 2 preserved lemons to fresh parsley and whiz together. Then the juice of half a lemon, 3 tablespoonfuls of mayonnaise, 200 grams of creme fraiche, season, and blend until smooth.
It's wonderfully piquant to go with the salmon. Just needs to be heated until it's warm.
The salmon, meanwhile, has had 15 minutes and is looking absolutely gorgeous.
No juices coming out from it. It always should hold its liquid, otherwise the flavour is lost.
The last job is to cook that wonderful samphire. It's similar to cooking asparagus, so all that's needed is a couple of minutes in boiling water.
No salt, because samphire is a little bit salty. Now to the part that I like best, making it look really tempting.
Starting with that velvety preserved lemon sauce.
That's it. It looks beautifully cooked. The samphire is lovely. I think that looks special. That is absolutely scrumptious.
I know when I serve this to the family, they will be clamouring for more. Back in Carmarthen Bay, Annabelle and I are in awe at all the other wild foods that Craig is unearthing. And what an abundance it is.
There's about 30 or 40 different things you can eat in where we are now. Do you like radish?
I'm not mad about radish, but I'm willing to try anything.
A little bit there, and I will pick. If you
Pop it in my basket.
put it there, if you cut the piece off and
Yeah.
the stalks, when they're very young, they're tender, you can stir fry them.
That's definitely radish, but on the milder side.
While it never ceases to amaze me how many wild plants are perfectly edible, over the years I've learnt not to eat anything until I know exactly what it is.
This thing here, it's called sea spinach or sea beet. It's the ancestors of all sugar beets and beetroots. And use it just as you would spinach.
What do you think?
I wouldn't know that wasn't spinach, you know.
There's only one thing that beats freshly picked sea vegetables, and that's freshly picked sea vegetables cooked on the beach.
On the platter there, you've got some flowers of sea radish, and we've got wild garlic then in various stages.
What's this?
It's a seaweed surprise, OK? It's known as pepper dill. Have a taste and see what flavour you get.
It's a lovely texture. It's certainly garlicky.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the bit I've been looking forward to, cooking this glorious foraged bounty in some wild garlic butter.
That looks good, doesn't it?
Oh. There we are. Delicious, isn't it?
How good is that?
Amazing.
Put it in there.
Doesn't that look so beautiful?
Oh, it doesn't get better than that one.
When cooking for family and friends, I want to spend as much time with them as possible. A bit of clever preparation helps.
I've got a great tip for lining a tin.
Turn the tin upside down and simply mould the foil around it.
That's fitting absolutely beautifully. Just lift that back like that. Turn the tin back again. And that's an exact fit.
It keeps it clean and is easy to lift out.
If you want to make a cake and you've forgotten to take the butter out of the fridge, here's a very good way of softening it.
Simply cube the butter and place in a bowl of lukewarm water. Leave for 4 or 5 minutes, strain, and mix away.
That's made very light work of that. I love making homemade stock because it's better.
Here's the perfect way to store it. Just reuse pre-bought and measured out cartons with a lid.
It's good to have it in measurements. They're usually 300 ml or 250 ml, and that's exactly what you so often want for your recipes.
So easy to then just take out what you need when you need it. It's not just my family who fill my life. My closest friends have been there for me through thick and thin. 30-year-old Carlisle-born Harrison Ward fully appreciates that sentiment.
Well, I've done my best with the weather for you, Mary.
I think you've done brilliantly.
Although hard to imagine now, just a few years ago, this fit and healthy young hiker was in a very different place. The Cumbrian landscape not only offered an escape, but a salvation.
I found myself in quite, a dark place with various mental health issues and drinking too much. I was taken up the top of here by a friend and frog marched up to the summit of Blencathra.
What, right up there?
Absolutely, yeah, that was my first one, but that was the one that started it all.
So, when you stood there and you looked down, what did you feel?
It was just sheer determination, really, to leave that man I became behind and sort of try and become a better person. The hills just provided that sort of escape for me, really. It was something that really sung to me and almost grew a new addiction in itself, just looking out onto these views below.
That was a good friend that took you on that day.
Yeah, and he actually bought me a pair of boots because I was completely penniless at the time, really. And it was a huge moment of faith and support.
Aren't you a very keen cook as well?
I am, yeah. It's something I've taken into the fells with me. So in here I've got plenty of bits. I've got my camping stove, lots of equipment, all different ingredients. And we're going to try and knock up sort of a dish you do in the restaurant or at home on the fell side here.
Well, I'm hungry.
Great stuff. Well, let's find a spot then.
Right.
In these parts, Harrison is now known as the Fell Foodie. He hikes through the magnificent hills before cooking from scratch almost every single day in the summer.
Looks like a good spot down here, Mary, across this stream.
This doesn't seem like a normal picnic at all.
And it's not. He's so passionate about cooking that Harrison carries all his measured ingredients and cooking equipment in that backpack.
Plenty of bits and bobs.
That looks like sugar.
That's sugar in there, yeah. We've got some caster sugar, some flour in one of the other pots.
I say we can do the washing up in the stream, can't we?
This is without doubt a man who loves to cook. Harrison is frying up 2 sea bass fillets, braising courgettes, beans and a smoky pancetta to go with them.
I've never been one to shy away from good food and good ingredients, so why do it when I'm out here either?
I'm used to beans and bangers when I'm eating outside. It is beautifully presented.
I hope you enjoy.
Here goes. The textures, the flavours couldn't be better. And doesn't it taste good out of doors in this lovely, peaceful setting?
Nothing better.
I think Harrison would also enjoy my beautiful beetroot and feta tart. I often make this on a weekend for friends.
This is a great, rustic, feel-good tart.
I'm starting with shop-bought puff pastry, and why not?
It's very easy, it's already rolled. You might want to make it just a little bit longer. And rather than doing it in a square, I've done it in an oval. It needs to have a lip so that my filling doesn't fall off. Just lift the edge up and sort of roll it over.
To give the tart its wonderful intense flavour, mix 2 cloves of crushed garlic with 3 tablespoons of sun-dried tomato paste and spread it over the base.
I think that's fairly even. That's it.
The next layer is 200 grams of rich and salty feta cheese.
Do buy the very best feta cheese that you can. It'll taste so much better.
Now for one of my favourite ingredients.
I just love beetroot. It has such a hearty flavour and it is so versatile. You can have it hot or cold, and it's lovely to have pickle too.
These ones have been simply boiled and sliced.
Already that looks quite spectacular.
Just add a little seasoning and olive oil before popping into a 180 fan oven for about 20 to 25 minutes.
Looks a bit okay.
The tart may look ready to eat, but I want to make it even more special with a handful of fresh rocket, oven-roasted peppers, and a delicious dressing.
I've got a dressing just made with oil and balsamic vinegar. Give it a whisk round, and I'm going to put a little on top of the peppers and the rest with the rocket. And then put that in the middle. I think it looks very tempting, really colourful. Let me remind you, puff pastry underneath, sun-dried tomatoes and garlic, then feta, best quality, lots of beetroot, rocket and roasted peppers. I simply love to cook this.
No matter what we feed our family and friends, everyone loves something sweet to top it off. Back in the Cumbrian hills, Harrison is about to provide it in the form of a blueberry and lemon sponge.
Just them.
It fits in there very neatly.
Like a glove.
Now this cake, when it comes out, it's going to look a bit drunk because we're on a hill. But that's part of its charm, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we try and present things as well as we possibly can, but we are in the outdoors after all, cooking on camp stoves.
Well, I've seen cakes made in a caravan, but I have never seen a cake made on a fell. I can smell that cake, and I'm sure it must be done.
I think we're about there. So I think it's the moment of truth.
Have a look. Here's the moment. Wow. That is absolutely perfect. It's got colour as well, and you can see the fruit through it.
And then we've got some blueberries on the top to finish.
And finally, a delicious sweet lemon glaze.
There's nothing like a bit of warm cake. It's a lovely texture all the way through. What do you think?
It's not half bad.
I've had a wonderful day on the fells, and this is the icing on the cake. It's delicious.
Cake really is the best way to treat our nearest and dearest. I think we all agree with that. My last recipe is so delicious. It's already a family favourite. A sumptuous dark paradise chocolate cake.
This is the sort of cake that I really love to make. It's the sort of cake that you really can show off with.
Start off by adding 4 tablespoons of boiling water to 30 grams of cocoa powder.
That cooks the cocoa and makes it a very good flavour.
Give it a good mix until the paste is smooth.
That's it. Now to the other ingredients. I'm doing this by the all-in-one method. I find it gives a very good result.
3 eggs, followed by 200 grams of baking spread straight from the fridge.
I wouldn't dream of using anything but butter for something like shortbread or butter biscuits, but I find a spread right for this cake.
100 grams each of light muscovado sugar and caster sugar. Then 175 grams of self-raising flour.
No need to sieve it because we're going to give a good beat.
Finally, 2 tablespoons of milk and mix away until it's one gorgeous colour.
Notice that I'm moving the bowl round. All helps for it to be mixed well.
For an extra bit of naughtiness, add a further 120 grams of rich melted dark chocolate.
This really does enrich the cake, and I'm only using the sort of chocolate that you can buy at the corner shop, just plain chocolate. That's beautifully mixed. Free the beaters, ready to go in the tin. Gorgeous, rich mixture.
Then into a preheated oven at 140 fan for about 75 minutes. When it's done, you can smell it from the next room. It's wonderful.
Now, don't be alarmed when you take that cake out of the oven with the crack. I've made it several times. It's always got a crack, and it doesn't matter at all because you cover it up with the apricot jam and then the icing.
The icing is to die for. Carefully bring 200 mils of double cream to a gentle simmer, then add yet more dark chocolate, 200 grams this time.
Go on stirring until all the chocolate has melted.
This gorgeous topping will need to chill slightly, giving me time to coat the cake in a layer of luscious apricot jam.
If there are little bits of apricot, what does it matter? It's rather nice. You can sieve it if you want to. That's what I was taught to do. But some things life's a bit short.
Now on with the icing.
You're looking at this and you're thinking, gosh, that's generous. And why not? This is sheer indulgence.
This cake is such a chocolate explosion, so there's only one way to decorate it. With even more chocolate.
I was driving through London the other day and I thought and looked up at the Shard, and I thought that would be great on the top of a cake. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, and you don't need to pipe. It's not complicated.
I've spread some melted white chocolate across a tray.
That's it.
And I'm just going to let myself go with some dark melted chocolate.
I'm going to just zigzag wildly across the top and hope for the best. Make them as thick or as thin as you like. I'm getting a bit sort of happy. So while I'm licking the bowls, I'll leave that to set in a cool place.
Now for the final touches.
That's it. Am I going to drop it? I'm not going to drop it. Come on, there we are. Not too difficult. It doesn't matter what the celebration is. I bet you this will be the centerpiece.
And there you have it. 4 wonderful recipes, worth the effort in every way, because our nearest and dearest will love them. Enjoy. Next time,
I'm really chuffed with that.
it's back to basics.
It'll give you confidence, ready to get going.
How are you, man, Mary? How are you?
With recipes perfect for beginners.
Everyone would think you're rather an expert. For me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second. I love it!
It's the joy of growing.
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
Cooking.
It's a bit of all right.
And eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. Most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking.
I've spent most of my life teaching new cooks foolproof recipes so they can feed their family and friends.
And they'll be thrilled to think that you spent time and trouble and love making them.
A mouth-watering stir-fry to build up some kitchen confidence. My delicious open burger, perfect to show off newfound skills. And a show-stopping biscuit that's ideal if you've never baked before. But I'm starting off with my absolute go-to for beginners, a strawberry jam and cream-filled Victoria sandwich.
Victoria sandwich is the cake that I've made most in my life because everybody likes it. Everybody loves it. Pretty easy, just follow the recipe carefully. It's a good idea to be organised. It'll give you confidence, ready to get going. Let me show you. First of all, start off with the eggs. So 4 eggs, these are really fresh and the white holds together.
225 grams of caster sugar and the same of self-raising flour.
Easy to remember.
Then exactly 1 level teaspoon of baking powder.
What happens if you are too generous with the baking powder? It rises up in the oven to begin with, and if you've got a glass door, you can see this, and then it goes down again.
But the secret to a perfect sponge is to use 225 grams of baking spread straight from the fridge.
I used to use butter. It's quite difficult to get the butter just at the right consistency.
That's everything in, and I'm mixing slowly on a low setting so I don't shower myself with flour.
That looks about right to me. It's lighter in colour.
It's as simple as that. You can't go wrong. Split the mixture as evenly as possible between 2 buttered and lined 20-centimetre tins.
If you're reading the recipe, often it says soft dropping, and that is what is called soft dropping. Fairly good description, isn't it? I'm now going to level it.
Those go in a preheated oven at 160 fan for about 25 minutes. You can have a peek after 20 minutes, but don't open the door before then, or the cakes may sink. The filling couldn't be more straightforward. Just whisk up 300 ml of pouring double cream.
You can also buy cream that is thick, non-pouring, and it's not suitable for putting in a sponge sandwich. So look for the word pouring on the side. It's not coming up in peaks. I want it in peaks, but I'm going to do it by hand because I don't want to overwhip it. That's just perfect. Look, just right.
I can smell those delicious sponges, but it's worth checking first.
To test them, I usually just put my finger on, and if it springs back, I know it's done, and it should be shrinking away from the sides.
Look at those golden beauties. Gorgeous. Give them 5 minutes before turning out onto a wire rack. Once they've cooled, it's time to make the sandwich.
Now, I bet you think I would do jam there. I have found that when I put the jam on the underside, in a day's time, the jam has sunk a little bit into the cake. So I'm going to put cream on the underneath side, and on this one, I'm going to put jam. Take the cream and just plump it on. I must say I like to be generous. Looks fairly level to me.
And now for its crowning glory, that strawberry jam.
And then I'm going to just lift it over the top here. It does look something very special, doesn't it? I promise you, it really doesn't get better than that. It is absolutely delicious. And there's lots more for everybody else.
A sponge may be the best place to start for some new cooks. But for others, a hearty pie does the job. The Men's Pie Club is based in Newcastle and was set up over 3 years ago by Jamie Sadler. He realised that men's social isolation was a problem, so decided that helping them to connect while learning how to cook could be a solution.
I know guys that, don't like football, don't like cricket, don't like golf, but I don't know many guys that don't enjoy a good pie. We've got guys as well who quite literally have not cooked for years and years. It's really kind of ignited a spark in some of the guys, and that's brilliant to see.
I didn't fancy all them stairs, mate. Be knackered by the time I get to the top.
Yeah, some stairs on that, like.
Today, they're holding their weekly club on top of the castle, and I'll be there to taste their pies later.
Yes.
How's about this, eh?
Oh, what a view.
Hey, better than Riverside, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing, I feel like, isn't it?
Good venue for Pie Club, eh, Billy?
Yeah.
It's canny.
It's lovely, isn't it? Wish my kitchen had a view like this.
On the menu is a spiced chicken and apricot tagine pie, thought up by a club member and passionate cook, Stuart Frisking.
How long have you been at the Pie Club, Stuart? About 3 years. 3 years. It's about 18 months for me, like. Yeah. Yeah, just couldn't resist pies, so I went along.
So before Pie Club, did you not cook that much?
Not a bit.
So what do you do now? What kind of things do you make?
Well, it encourages you to try something different that you've never done before.
Yeah, yeah.
Adding a little bit of herbs or cutting things up and cooking them differently than you would do previously, The Pie Club I joined because I had lost my son in 2006, my daughter in 2015, my wife in 2016, my brother in 2018. So I am totally alone. Never expected to lose your parents. It's the worst thing you can ever experience. The Pie Club has helped us out of my shell. It's helped us bloom. It's helped us to have people that cared about us, and I know they cared about us.
This groundbreaking group has become a vital social hub for over 120 local members. Jeff Howard started cooking here 18 months ago and hasn't looked back.
When my depression has been bad, I've ended up being in the house. I tend to lock myself away, and it just gets us back out the house, and you get to meet like other blokes and get to talk about similar sort of things. It's been something really positive in my life in the last 18 months. And you always get a pie at the end, and everybody loves a pie.
I'm certainly a pie fan, and I can see how cooking has allowed these men to develop a close bond.
I would hope that Mary would be well impressed with this pie, because it's made with tender love and care.
Well, I'm already impressed, and I can't wait to try them later when they're done. My next recipe is ideal no matter what your skill level is. A pub classic with a twist, salmon and dill burgers.
We all know about beef burgers, lamb burgers. Now it's salmon burgers for a change, with fresh salmon and smoked salmon. Absolutely cram jam full of flavour, simple to make, and good news that you can make it ahead. I'm going to chop up the fish, but keep a bit of texture. The first bit of fish I'm going to use is the smoked salmon, and just chop that up to a very rough paste. It's chopped up, but there's still plenty of texture.
Along with 100 grams of smoked salmon, add 500 grams of fresh salmon chunks, 125 grams of panko breadcrumbs, and some dill.
It is a good idea to chop the dill because it doesn't get chopped up enough in the short time that it's in there.
4 tablespoons of mayonnaise will help to bind the mixture together with the juice of half a lemon and some seasoning.
I think that's quite enough. If you do it for too long, it will take away the texture. The purpose of pushing it all together is that when you make it into the burger, when you cook it, it all keeps together and doesn't crumble. This is proper home food. Can you hear this bird? It's arguing with me. There we are. It is so lovely to be outside and have a bit of sunshine. Right, cut it into 8. I think that's pretty even.
Shape the balls about an inch thick.
You don't need egg to bind it. I've packed away the rest. I'm just going to cook 3 and now I'm going to make a lovely lemon caper mayonnaise. So 3 tablespoonfuls of good mayonnaise. That's it. Then I'm going to add the juice of half a lemon, so quite sharp, and some capers. Capers are the flower bud of a Mediterranean shrub, and they are salted and they really add flavour to the mayonnaise. I've chopped those up and added them there. Little salt and pepper, just mix that all together.
Good home cooking is about adding the bits you love. For me, it's a layer of finely shredded fennel cooked until meltingly golden.
A little oil in the pan, in it goes. If you don't fancy fennel, you could use fried onions with it, cooked in the same way.
The burgers will only take a few minutes each side to cook.
You'll be able to see how they cook because once the salmon becomes a flat pink, you know that it's done. Turn it over the other side. I can smell the fish. It's lovely. The dill is coming up. Lovely smell. I just want to be that gorgeous golden brown colour. Right, the burger's done, the fennel's done, all I've got to do is assemble. Now, I'm only going to use half the bun, which I've toasted. If everybody's starving, you can put the top bun on top. So, first of all, a little bit of lettuce, then on goes the burger. Now look at that, doesn't it look good? That's it. Then the fennel, remember that's hot as well. A slice of pickle on top of that, and then some of this glorious mayo. So if you're new to cooking and you've made this, you'd be very proud and everyone would think you're rather an expert. I think I've got a bit of everything. I'm really chuffed with that.
I've arrived in Newcastle along with the rain.
I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to tasting those pies and meeting the men who made them.
As the pies come out, so does the sun. And after climbing all these stairs, I think I've earned one.
I've just climbed a mountain. Something smells absolutely wonderful.
Hi, Mary.
Well, it's wonderful that you're all actually cooking.
This is our delicious chicken tagine pie, packed full, obviously, of chicken, chickpeas, preserved lemon, and loads of spices and dried fruit.
I think you've all achieved beautiful pies and a great thing for friendship. You're no longer alone.
Yeah.
You mix them with other blokes, you mix them with other men. You're not sitting on the settee and watching the world go by, which is so easy to do.
And any girls in your class? That's dreadful, is it?
No look like that.
No, come on, I want to try.
No soggy bottoms.
Here goes. It's as crisp as can be. I can taste coriander.
Yeah.
I hope you taste the honey in mine.
And not quite so spicy.
I didn't put spices in mine. I'm not so keen on spices.
It's very, very good. Slightly sweeter than the others.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's got a lot of chicken in there.
Oh, there's lots
Delicious.
of chicken. There's plenty of chicken in.
Jeff, you've got a lovely colour there.
I know.
Crispy pastry.
So, Mary, I'm going to put you on the spot. Which pie's best?
I'm not going to say which pies
Oh,
are best. I
how weird.
enjoyed them all. They're very similar. It's a very good recipe.
My brother, when he found out I was going to meet you, he turned round and he says, will you tell Mary one of the first cookbooks I ever got was the best cookbook, and it was the Hamlin all-colour cookbook. And he...
That's still not going to make you first in the pie.
How weird, man, Mary. How weird.
So, Stuart, what's on the cards for next week?
Steak and kidneys and something like that.
Steak and kidney. I'll be back. You be careful.
Right. Those pies were first class, especially for beginners. I think the Men's Pie Club would also enjoy my next recipe.
Hoisin chicken is one of my go-to recipes that's simple, quick, and is really great for building confidence when you haven't done much cooking. So first make the marinade.
Grate some ginger, a tablespoon will do.
I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. That's made from soya bean. And then the juice of half a lemon. Like that. And a teaspoonful, that's a little squirt, of runny honey.
And that's the marinade done. It couldn't be simpler. Give it a quick mix to combine those aromatic flavours, season, and then in with the chicken.
I've got 3 good-sized chicken breasts here, all in at once. This particular marinade needs minimum half an hour in the fridge. If it's longer, all for the better. Now all those lovely flavours will be permeated into the chicken.
Chop 3 spring onions and everything is ready. Once the pan is hot, it will be a very quick cook.
The best way to tell whether a pan is getting hot is just to hold your hand out. Feel until it's really, really hot, and then put the oil in. And this is sunflower oil, so just a zigzag across the top of the pan like that. I find it best to do this in 2 batches. Spread it about. Like the sizzle, don't you? That's about half, and it will have this gorgeous colour. Look at it, it's most exciting.
They need only a few moments on each side until cooked through and beautifully caramelised.
Smells absolutely delicious.
For a final flourish, fry off some cashew nuts and the spring onions in the same pan.
That'll just soften them. Looks most tempting, doesn't it? So there's the nuts, just on top like that. And that is ready to serve right now. Doesn't like waiting. I can't resist. But it is really full of maximum flavour.
No matter how simple the recipe, it helps to have a few shortcuts up your sleeve. Here are some of my favourites.
I think there'll be some things you'll learn.
My first is a genius tip to stop pasta water boiling over.
Simply put a wooden spoon across the top.
The wood repels the starchy bubbling water. I love anything that allows me to get ahead. This is a great tip to remember.
With potatoes, if you just left them, they would go brown. So put them in water, cold water, make sure the water covers it and keep them in a cool place. And you can do that a day ahead.
Another time saver is to microwave lemons, making it easier to squeeze out every drop.
No effort at all.
Finally, if you're new to using fresh herbs, a few pointers for thyme.
Just simply put the sprig in, the leaves will fall in during cooking, and take out the bare branch at the end.
And with rosemary, finely chop the leaves first, or there'll be sharp shards in the sauce.
I certainly don't fancy eating that.
It's a joy to meet people who are just as passionate about teaching others to cook as I am.
You'll be on the barbecue this time?
Definitely, bro. I'm the pro at that.
Brothers Sean and Craig McAnuff are food bloggers dedicated to passing on their family recipes to thousands of new followers.
We love to cook because we love to eat. We love to cook because we love to see smiles on people's faces. Yeah. We love to cook because we want to pass it down to our children.
Today is all about their incredible grandmother, Lurleen, who ignited their passion. I've been invited to the family barbecue celebrating her 86th birthday.
You ready, yeah? You got all your seasonings? Good, let's go.
On the menu is the Caribbean classic jerk chicken, and cousins Ashley and Malachi are making it for the first time.
All right, so firstly, we're gonna get the chicken. I'm gonna ask you guys just to kind of score the chicken so the seasonings get into the chicken, yeah?
The marinade is onions, garlic, and thyme.
All right, next you're gonna do the pimento seeds. So traditionally in jerk chicken, it's about the pimento wood fragrancing the actual chicken, and this is like an extract from the pimento wood.
Mixed spices, nutmeg, and browning are next.
You know, Grandma always says, dash it in. Perfect, that's it. Nice one.
A de-seeded Scotch bonnet, lime juice, then it's ready to blend.
Wow, look at that. So I think this is good to go. How does it smell?
Good.
It's good?
Good, yeah.
That smells powerful.
Powerful, man.
I can't wait to eat this.
In Jamaica, we love to season. We're gonna actually pour in the jerk marinade. This is a family recipe that's been passed down, so treat it with some tender loving care. Now you guys know it as well, yeah?
Take over.
You can take over.
It's cooked on a traditional jerk pan made from an old oil drum, which heats and smokes at the same time.
You see that smoke?
Yep.
You see that sizzle?
Yep.
That's what you call real Jamaican jerk cooking.
Okay.
You cook for about 8 to 10 minutes on each side. Flip it over 2 or 3 times until you're happy.
Their mother Blossom is on hand to help too.
Nanny.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of the jerk chicken? The kids,
Oh,
them are doing
yeah.
a great job.
Great job.
Ooh.
That's nice.
Sean and Craig certainly share my passion to teach, but I want to meet the woman that taught them. What would it be a party without a cake?
Welcome you. to my party.
It looks very dangerous.
Enjoy it, darling.
Help.
Enjoy it.
Mary, we've not just got rum punch for you. We've got rice and peas, we've got coleslaw, Nanny's famous coleslaw that she's taught us.
Yeah.
So we like the curry goat pie. It's a cross between shepherd's pie, but instead we're using curry goat underneath as the filling instead of the minced meat.
Oh, that'll be in my next book.
Yeah.
Come and have a look.
Wow. Why do you boys like teaching so much?
We were blessed by our mother and grandmother teaching us, so we want to give back to people who love cooking and are passionate about cooking.
Exactly. It's just that natural instinct of just passing things on.
So, Grandma, are you proud of them?
Oh,
Nan?
yes. Very proud.
Gosh, that's good. You've done a wonderful job passing on all your skills to your 7 children.
7 children.
And further. So, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
I think Lurleen would agree the next recipe is a great one to get children into the kitchen. My crunchy and chewy ginger biscuits.
There's nothing quite like a homemade biscuit. And one of my favourite ones are ginger. I like ginger in any shape or form. And this ginger is crystallised ginger. You'll find it in the supermarket where you'll find all the sweet things to use in baking. But I don't want it too fine. It's lovely when you come across the biscuit and you've got a little bit of that soft, sweet ginger. It makes it extra delicious.
So just loosely chop it through.
In fact, that's perfect. So I've got a pan and I've got 50 grams of butter here going in. And then a tablespoon of golden syrup. If you put too much golden syrup, they'll spread, so be very careful to do it. Right to the top, but no more.
Let the butter and syrup gently melt and get cracking with the dry ingredients.
And really, you can't go wrong if you've weighed very carefully.
First, 175 grams of self-raising flour.
No need to sieve it, straight in there.
A teaspoonful of bicarb, which is the secret to their texture.
That just makes a nice crackly effect on top of the biscuit and gives it a little bit of extra rise.
1 tablespoon of ground ginger powder. I used 2 different sugars, each with their own purpose.
Light muscovado sugar, that's a natural sugar and it gives a lovely flavour. Demerara sugar, so you get the little bit of crunch from demerara, and that's 50 grams.
Finally, crystallised ginger, the melted butter and syrup, and 1 medium egg. That's it.
In that goes. I shall just work it with my hand for the last bit. So that's the biscuit mixture made. Just work that together to a round.
Simply divide the mixture into 16 equal pieces.
You don't need a degree in higher mathematics to do this.
Roll those into balls and place on a baking tray lined with non-stick parchment.
And if you don't space them out fairly well, they'll spread and knock each other. There we are. I've got my 16 biscuits. I'm just going to flatten those down till they're about 1 centimetre.
They go into a preheated oven at 140 fan for about 25 minutes. But pop back and check how they're doing after 20.
They should be spread, looking a little bit cracked on top, and we're wanting a gorgeous sort of light golden brown. They look perfect. They need to be crispened off. If you put them straight down on a plate, you'll find that the condensation goes onto the plate and they don't get quite as crisp.
Now for the tricky bit. Resist eating them for 20 minutes while they cool. Any beginner could make these deliciously crunchy biscuits.
I could easily eat one after another. I just love these biscuits and they keep well in a tin. But honestly, in our house, they go like lightning.
Cooking is more than just making something scrumptious to eat. It's about the joy of feeding those you love, connecting and sharing with others while learning a new skill. And it's something that everyone can do. You just have to give it a try.
Well, it just doesn't get much better. It is absolutely scrumptious.
Next time, it's maximum flavour.
Does look amazing, and it's going to taste even better.
At minimum cost.
A little luxury that'll go a long way.
You can't make chocolate cake without chocolate.
No, look at that. Not bad. For me, family comes first, but food comes a very close second.
I love it! It's the joy of growing.
It looks like ringlets, doesn't it?
Cooking.
It's a bit of all right.
And eating it.
Well, it can't be bad if I'm having a second lot.
How are you, man, Mary?
I'm getting a bit sort of happy.
And I love meeting the people who share this passion.
Exquisite.
And best of all, there's still so much wonderful food to discover. Gorgeous colour, look at it. Most exciting. Looking good. So let's get cracking.
I was brought up to be frugal, so I love to make the most of every ingredient.
We're on a budget today.
I have 4 delicious recipes that prove watching the pennies doesn't mean sacrificing on flavour. A sausage phyllo swirl, which is so much fun to make. A mouth-watering cut of steak that won't break the bank. And a beloved pudding that makes the most of humble ingredients. But first, a sumptuous dish with a cheeky twist.
This is spaghetti courgette with crab. Absolutely delicious. I'm using tinned crab. It's half the price of fresh crab. A little luxury that'll go a long way. And you can have it on the shelf and make it on the spur of the moment.
What also lifts this dish is mixing courgettes with spaghetti.
And I'm going to spiralise them. Now just look at that. It's quite fun to do, isn't it? So
it will make it much lighter to eat, and they're in season from June to October, so even cheaper then.
So that's just about it.
The sauce couldn't be simpler. 1 sliced banana shallot in plenty of oil. Be generous.
I love the smell of the olive oil coming up. Then I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic and then 1 red chilli, finely chopped. Right, that's just had a few moments. Then in goes the courgette. It looks like ringlets, doesn't it? I've got the heat right up. Use 2 spoons. Make sure that it's well mixed in.
Add a few more glugs of olive oil, season, then it's time for the star ingredient.
The drained weight of this white crab is just over 100 grams. And in that goes.
It smells so inviting and ready for the cooked spaghetti.
Well drained, drop that in. That bright green looks good.
I love the final flourishes that bring the sauce to life. Chopped dill and lemon juice will add piquancy to make it sing.
It smells like a visit to Italy and a wonderful aroma. This was very inexpensive to make, but it has a touch of luxury about it because all these bright colours, all these ingredients are evenly mixed in, and you want to serve it right now, so I'm getting on with the job. I'm not going to waste anything. I think that's an exciting dish for a special occasion and inexpensive to make.
If there's someone who knows a thing or two about cooking on a shoestring, it's school chef Holly Charnock.
What are you having, Izzy? Pasta. Joe, what are you having?
Would you like some cheese?
Pasta.
Holly's genius at making the budget stretch was rewarded when she won School Chef of the Year in 2020.
Top tips for cooking budget food is to cook from fresh, to get creative. Also, once you've used stuff, if you don't use it all up, pop it in the freezer. Bring it out for next time. There'll be no wastage then.
Today, Holly and team are recreating a version of her winning dishes for the 240 students. It's braised beef pasta.
So it's exactly the same as what I used inside the tortellini for the competition dish. What we'll do is we'll cook this through and then we'll mix it through the pasta once the pasta's cooked.
And a beetroot chocolate brownie with banana ice cream.
It's fancy, isn't it?
It does look delicious.
Can't wait.
Though the versions that won the competition for Holly looked a little grander, both still had to come in at under £1.40 a head. The braised beef filled a tortellini, and the beetroot chocolate brownie was served with a raspberry coulis. Amazing.
Very posh. So basically, what we would serve on a school day, but like super pimped up.
Deputy Head Pauline Coleman and fellow cook Chrissy Ryder are about to have a taste of it for themselves.
The girl done good. This is nice.
It is delicious.
This is really nice.
Chef Holly?
Chef Holly. Do we have to call you something posh now?
Yeah. No, we just bow down every time we say it.
Time for the real taste test as the children arrive for lunch.
What are you all having for pudding? Chocolate brownie, fruit.
Chocolate and ice cream.
Holly's got an unbelievably high percentage of children that stay for school dinners. I think it's something like 85%. Now, normally it's around about 50%. So I think the main feedback from parents is that we get more and more children staying for school dinners.
What will they make of Holly's winning combinations?
Would you like some cheese? The Parmesan? Yeah? I personally despise cheese. But she put I really don't like it at all. But she put just a tiny sprinkle of cheese on it and I ate it all.
And those beetroot chocolate brownies.
My favourite part about the dish was the brownies. I think it's my favourite because I like how you can't taste the beetroot in it, but it gives it a nice sweet in it.
I think that if I can give them something that makes them happy in their school day, then it makes my job easier, it makes my life better. So it's probably about helping them grow and develop through their school life, to be honest.
Like, it was really, 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 really good.
We've always known we've got the best school chef in the country, and now the rest of the country knows that too. So, thank you, Holly.
Time for the children to show their appreciation.
How cute are they?
Hats off to Holly and all the school chefs around the country. I think they'd approve of my next dish, a delicious sausage and spinach phyllo swirl.
It's a bit like a Cumberland sausage, which is like that, but with a coat on of phyllo.
Start off by sautéing one sliced leek in butter, then add some baby spinach.
And just wilt it. There we are. And now 1 clove of garlic pressed, and then keep turning it. If you're growing spinach at home, the best one to have is perpetual spinach, and it grows on. The more you pick, the more it comes. Look at that spinach. It was right to the top of the pan, and with wilting, it's gone right down.
Remove the meat of 6 pork sausages from their skins and mix into the cooled spinach.
This is a really frugal recipe because it's making 6 sausages much more into a special meal at very little cost.
Now to give it its all-important wrapping. With feta pastry, a little goes a long way, which is ideal when keeping the costs down.
So I'm going to take 4 sheets off. I'm going to take the ones that are left, and I should think there are about 8 or 9, and I'm going to re-wrap that and put it straight back in the freezer because I don't want to waste it.
I love this bit. Using melted butter, brush the joining edges of the 4 sheets so they form a metre-long length.
If you don't put butter, it will crack as you roll it up. Mind you, it cracks anyway a little bit, but that all adds to its charm.
Then simply line the edge of the pastry with the sausage and spinach mixture.
When I was trying this out, I tried it out on my husband, who has a passion for sausages in any form, and he thought it was really good. It's looking good, isn't it? Now I'm going to roll it. It will crack a bit, says she, thinking it will definitely crack. I really would like 4 hands here. It would be easier. That's it.
Roll up the sausage filo, brushing the top with a little melted butter on each turn. And it's ready to cook.
If you take the tin that you make a Victoria sponge in and you just lightly butter that inside and then butter the top like that. So get hold of this firmly, drop it in, push it round. That's it. It's quite fun, but it's nerve-wracking when you do it for the first time. Now that went in quite easily, but sometimes it cracks all along. Don't be perturbed by that, because it doesn't matter a bit.
A final brush of butter, and then sprinkle with some sesame seeds to give it extra crunch.
Like that.
That goes into the middle of a 200-fan oven for about 40 minutes. It will come out beautifully golden and ready to serve to a hungry family.
I knew you were going to ask, is it done underneath? Well, look at that. Not bad.
Reducing waste is the key to keeping costs down when cooking.
You want to make the most of every ingredient.
Nuts are expensive, but here's how to keep them fresh for longer.
Nuts are high in fat and oils, and if you try to keep them in a cupboard, they go rancid very quickly.
If sealed in an airtight container and kept in the freezer, ground nuts will be fine for a year and whole nuts for up to 2 years. Leftover stale bread can be made into breadcrumbs.
I can remember doing this in the early days, grating it, which was jolly difficult.
And also kept in the freezer for up to 2 months.
If you buy mushrooms that are covered in plastic, first thing you do when you get home is put them into paper bags. They keep best that way.
There's one ingredient that I think stands out when it comes to sensible cooking. The humble egg.
I'd be hard-pressed to think of an ingredient that's more useful and economical than an egg.
Though there are farms classified as free-range up and down the country, there is still a broad definition of what free-range actually means.
So these have been collected today. They'll go down to the egg room now and graded to make sure there's no cracks in them. And then 5 o'clock this afternoon, they'll be going to London and in the shops tomorrow morning.
Paddy and Steph Bourne set up a decade ago. Their aim was to put their chickens' well-being at the centre of what they did.
Quite old-fashioned, really. So we breed everything on site. We keep all the cockerels and boys alive when they're hatched. So it's called a closed flock scenario, and it's really done in a manner that was probably done 80, 90 years ago. We're passionate about the way we look after our animals and the way we conduct our farm. We've ended up with an amazing egg off the back of what we do.
We've never set out to get a really good egg.
No, we didn't. No, I mean, if we produced the worst egg in the world, it wouldn't bother me as long as the chickens
were looked after, cared
But it
for,
happens that all the little things that we've done
have made a big difference.
Yeah, chickens are very complex animals. I think they have to be treated and looked after with the utmost of kind of respect. You know, if you don't look after them particularly well, they won't perform very well.
Paddy and Steph's chickens roam around at their leisure, only having to share with a couple of four-legged friends.
This really is idyllic. Absolutely beautiful wherever you look. Lucky chickens. How did all this begin?
I came to an estate in the Cotswolds and was running a chicken farm, and a lady walked in the door for her parents to buy a dozen eggs. And she walked out.
Love at first sight.
Love at first sight. She walked out with a dozen eggs and a husband. I mean, you know, for £1.50 at the time.
Do you reckon you got good value?
I do think I've got good value, yeah.
They also had their daughter, Sybil, who is already training for the hard life of a farmer.
I'm going to run the farm one day.
We start at 6 in the morning and we let out all the chickens, so we go around all the sheds and check it they're OK. The chicken always lays its eggs from 7 o'clock in the morning till probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's a period.
Is that true?
Yeah.
They actually have a given time?
Yeah, they do,
I never knew
And they go in
that.
their nest boxes, don't they? Lay their eggs.
So we collect all the eggs, go around the sheds, continuously collecting eggs.
And the actual grass, it looks so healthy.
There's herbs in it, isn't there?
We don't want to use anything that's unnatural, so what we do every year is we pull the sheds to fresh pasture. Gives the ground a complete rest, and then it comes back the next year. It just gives for a healthier bird and a healthier environment for them.
How long does a hen go on laying?
We have some birds that lay for 2 years, but our pure breeds, some of them are 6 years old now.
They're still going.
Yeah, and still going, yeah.
And what happens to the old birds?
In the last 10 years, all of our hens have been rehomed.
You both look so very happy here.
It's the way of life, isn't
Being
it?
together, yeah. Love it, absolutely love it. Having a family, just kind of having those old-fashioned kind of things, you know.
Where our food comes from is important, but so is being able to afford it. I've always loved my next recipe because it makes use of one of the most economical cuts of steak around.
This is a steak night special, but a little bit less expensive, using bavette steak. And it's known as the secret butcher's cut because they keep for themselves to take home. It has beautiful marbling of the fat throughout the meat, and that makes it tender and flavoursome.
Steaks are easier to cook if they are the same thickness, so don't hold back.
I always go back to when our son William was on a very early programme that I did, and I remember Judy Chalmers saying to him, "What do you like about making bread?" He said, "I like the thumping." And it does get it out of your system, doesn't it? That looks fairly even to me. I'm going to cook this bavette steak very quickly on a high heat, and to give it a really good flavour, I'm going to marinate it. Some olive oil, 2 tablespoons, everybody out.
Then the balsamic glaze, muscovado sugar, chopped thyme and garlic.
What with the smell of garlic and thyme, it's lovely.
Coat the steaks in the fragrant marinade, season, then leave for at least a couple of hours. I can get on with the most economical of veg.
Piping hot roasting tin.
In go 750 grams of new potatoes and 3 red onions.
Salt and pepper.
Those go into a 200-fan oven for about 25 minutes or until the potatoes are lightly golden. Now to concentrate on those beautifully marinated steaks.
I'm going to cook these very quickly and on a very hot pan. One there, listen, sizzle, sizzle. 1 to 2 minutes each side. Look at that.
They smell wonderful, and for about half the cost of sirloin or ribeye.
That's it. If you just put a lid over the top, leave them to rest for about 10 minutes.
Time to check on the roasted veg.
Looking absolutely scrumptious. Push them all up one end. That's it.
Throw in some cherry tomatoes, douse with olive oil, balsamic glaze and season. To mirror the flavours of the steak marinade, add some thyme and garlic to the roast veg.
This is all about flavour. They're all inexpensive things. With a good stir. Just look at that, doesn't it look good?
Pop back in the oven for about 8 minutes.
These steaks are rested. Don't they look brilliant? They've got that lovely shine. That comes from the marinade. Oh, what a treat.
All that's needed is a big platter so everyone can dig in.
Sheer luxury, but not expensive. This is steak night fit for a king. It does look amazing, and it's going to taste even better.
The makeup of an egg is influenced by many things. The outside shell by the hen's breed.
So we've got 4 breeds. We have Rhode Island Reds, which produce a normal brown egg. We have Aracanas that produce green eggs. We have Morans, which produce the dark brown eggs. And we have Arlington Whites, which produce the white eggs.
And I believe the quality of an egg is affected by how the chickens are fed and treated. From intensive to organic options, 56% of us now want to know how our eggs are farmed. I've boiled up 2 eggs from either end of that scale to show the difference.
And I'm going to start off by trying that one. It really tastes exceedingly bland. There's no depth of flavour. This one is absolutely bright orange. Oh, that's a total different kettle of fish. It tastes really beautiful, the sort of thing you want to wake up to on a Sunday morning. If you're making a whole meal, it's certainly, to my mind, worth the extra few pence because it tastes better.
Before I leave, Sybil wants me to meet the next generation.
I've never seen a grey one before. Let me have this little black one.
They come out of different shells because those ones come out of brown shells and those ones come out of white shells.
Yes, do you know that's something that people don't realise, that white chickens lay white eggs and brown chickens
lay brown
eggs. So tell me, have they got names?
One's called Mary, that one's called Berry.
Oh, which is your favourite cake made with eggs?
I like chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. Well, you can't make a chocolate cake without good eggs.
And you can't make chocolate cake without chocolate.
No, of course not.
Of course, it is possible to make lovely cakes without eggs, but my next recipe shows how to use them to their fullest. This lemon and lime meringue pie is truly spectacular.
Everybody goes, isn't it delicious? And can I have a second helping? It's just one of those puds that everybody loves, and they think it's very difficult to make. It isn't. I've made my own sweet short crust pastry, or you can buy it, and it's quite inexpensive.
Use a spoon to gently create a wave along the edges.
That's it. And then I'm going to prick the base with a fork. That'll stop it rising up in a balloon. So you've got to go right down so that you can see the tin underneath.
Chill the pastry, Then bake blind for about 15 minutes in a 180 fan oven. Then remove the beans and give it an extra 5 minutes so the case becomes super crispy.
With meringue, I reckon you need something rather sharp.
What makes this pudding so majestic is its lemon and lime filling. Add 30 grams of corn flour to 200 ml of cold water.
Make sure every scrap goes in, otherwise I won't have a nice thick mixture.
Then the zest of a lemon and a lime along with their juice. Give that a good whisk so there's no corn flour stuck in the bottom of the pan, and then onto the heat.
That's beautifully thick, just as I wanted it to be. I'm going to add the sugar now and take it off the heat and add the egg yolks. So all in at once, like that, and give it a good beat. And just remember, eggs are such good value. We're only using 3 eggs in a pud that'll serve 6 or 8 people.
Allow this delicious filling to cool before pouring.
That just smells of lemony lime and sharpness and richness. This needs to get cold and set before piping on top. Now to the meringues. Clean bowl to start with. The egg whites must have absolutely no egg yolk in it, nice fresh eggs. I'm going to whisk it until it looks like cloud. First of all slowly and then fast. Now on full speed.
Once the egg white has some volume but isn't yet holding a peak, it's time to add 175 grams of sugar.
Add it little by little, always on full speed. Now that is beautifully shiny, holds up in peaks, and that's how it should be. Over the top of my head, very easy. I promise you, it will never fall down if you've done it properly.
Perfect. Now all that's needed is to pipe it onto that luscious citrus tart.
Just a moment, there's one that just hasn't got a peak. I seek perfection, so I'm just going to do this one again. That's it. So there it is, all ready for the oven. 130 for about 40 minutes. Doesn't that look simply beautiful? Just from 3 eggs, lemon and lime, pastry case. I can hear that crispy. Did you hear the crispy as it went through? It looks pretty good. I think that is a very decadent pudding that has taken care but inexpensive ingredients, and I think anyone would be very proud to serve that for a very special occasion.
And there you have it. What better way to make the most of humble ingredients? 4 delicious recipes, with an eye on some budget options. Perfect for whoever you are feeding. Enjoy.